I'm not bored, but share with me a supernatural or paranormal experience that you've had before. I'll go first. I've had a bunch of paranormal experiences since I was literally a baby, but I'll start off with this one. This was back in 2012 when I was pregnant with my daughter. My daughter's father and I had just moved into this small standalone cottage. It was very small and very cutesy, had its own front yard and backyard with like a big tree in it. One night, while I was falling asleep, I experienced sleep paralysis. This was the first time this has ever happened to me. So, as I'm falling asleep, my eyes are closed, but I'm still awake, but I'm still asleep. But I'm super aware of what is going on in the room. My neighbors next door were having a party, so they were blasting Spanish music. So, as I'm drifting off asleep, I can hear the Spanish music, slowly start to fade away. Then I start to hear like a melody playing, like a lullaby, like it was coming from some sort of baby toy. At the time, we had nothing prepared for our baby, so we didn't have anything in the house to even make that noise. But I'm thinking that I'm having a dream. So as that baby lullaby music melody was playing, I start to sense like there's a presence in the room, and I can see the room, but my eyes were still closed, and it was very, very, very dark. So I'm watching the presence move from the front of the bed, and it goes around to my side, and I'm sleeping on the edge of the bed, and my daughter's father is between me and the wall. So right next to the bed was a fan. And I promise you, I start to hear something speaking in my ear very fast, and it was almost like it was speaking like in a Latin dialect. Like it wasn't speaking English and it wasn't Spanish. Like it was speaking super fast in my ear, like it was like chanting something. So I got incredibly scared, and the whole time I'm trying to move, I'm trying to move him, I'm trying to yell out his name, I'm trying to kick, I'm trying to fight, but I'm not moving at all. But inside, I'm screaming his name, I'm telling him, do you hear that, do you hear that? So at the very last minute, he jumps up out his sleep and he goes, did you hear that? And as soon as he said, did you hear that, I was able to break free and like break, and I moved, like I got under him so quickly because I was so scared. And I said, oh my gosh, like I've been hearing it for like the past 5 minutes. It was talking in my ear, talking in my ear. Literally 3 days later, he got locked up. Once he got locked up, it was just me and my dog. The paranormal activity started to increase. This was before I had a prayer life. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my Bible. I didn't have no type of spiritual awareness or connection. So I was freaking out every single night. I was still working, so I would come home from work and I would try to go to sleep. And, once he got locked up, I started writing him letters and stuff. And it was just me and my dog. So one night I'm sitting on the floor with my back against the bed, writing a letter, and my dog is sitting in front of me, but he's facing the wall behind me. So as he's sitting there, he starts like crying, like, and he's like looking at the wall, and he's like going like this, and he's crying. So I'm like, I look back and I see nothing on the wall, and I'm like, okay. And then he's still sitting there crying, looking at the wall like he's following something on the wall. Another night, we were sleeping on the bed, me and my dog, and he would randomly just jump up as if something like pinched him or poked him, and he would cry out and run under the bed to hide. Another night, I would be sleeping in the bed and I can feel something. It felt like somebody was crawling on the edge of the bed. Like I can feel like the pressure on the bed, like coming from the edge of the bed, coming towards me. Scary as hell. Another night, I am digging in my closet. It's just me. I have my bedroom light on and I'm looking in my closet for some shoes, and I see a shadow, like as if somebody walked past behind me. And it's just me and my dog. Ain't nobody in that crib. The scariest moment that has happened though was when we were sleeping in the room, pitch black, and I had the room door closed. I made sure that all the doors were locked. I started to hear somebody or something trying to get into the room, like it was jiggling the knob, like really fast, like trying to get into the room. Oh my goodness. That is like the scariest thing. And I knew I wasn't tripping because my dog would get up and start barking at it, like barking, barking, barking. Another night, I started to notice seeing like little orbs, like little white balls of light that were like move really low to the ground, and it would move like really slowly. And at first I would see like in the corner of my eye, but when I look directly at it, it's still there, and then it would just like slowly kind of disappear into the dark. So after I was having all of those issues and experiences, like it was so hard to sleep at night. I started to sleep with the light on. I'm freaking out, bugged out. And the only spiritual person in my family, or anybody that has any type of like understanding of like spirituality or spiritual stuff, is my grandmother. So I called her and I explained to her what was going on. So this is what got me into the Bible and like reading the Bible and believing in scripture and praying. So she would tell me every night before I go to sleep, read Psalms 91. And if you know, you know. So every night before I would go to sleep, I would read out Psalms 91 and I would have a peaceful night of sleep. And I knew that it was working because one night I forgot to read it and stuff started to happen again. And I quickly turned on my light, got on and started reading, got into my Bible and started reading that Psalms 91. I have literally so many other stories of things that I've experienced that is inexplicable. But now, in hindsight, as I'm going through my spiritual journey, I understand the connection between me and the spiritual realm. So